Yeah, that was great senior day or senior night. I think we won two in a row, maybe. And people don't know I'm not a great senior night coach. I've had a lot. Usually get really emotional. Haven't had as many wins as I'd like, but couldn't have happened. Better outcome for us. We played really well, and Benny Geeler, who's been just so much to this team, particularly in the last 2 years, and I don't even like the story of him being a former walk-on. I don't like to bring that up, and because I was like, this guy's a player, and treat him as such, and he's earned everything. And it's just neat to see these stories of a guy like that, and I didn't recruit him, and you always, and I've said this so many times that when we got to St. Mary's, I was going back assistant Randy Bennett's like, we got the job. It's like, these guys are here for St. Mary's. We're going to encourage, and most coaches want to get rid of guys. And I'm like, no, this is what I do. And I've had that approach every job I've taken. And Benny's one of those guys. He's probably a little insecure, new coach. Where's my scholarship situation? He just worked his butt off. He earned every minute, through his practice and hard work. And he's just gotten better. He's our captain. He's our clear-cut leader. Obviously, Ibuka's a great player, but he's as important to this team as Ibuka. And it's just neat to see that come to fruition. So this is the Benny press conference.
Yeah. So you mentioned Benny, obviously all these seniors.
Yeah.
Potentially the last game at Naples. Can you talk about just what all these kids do?
You know what? The one guy that obviously doesn't get much, Chisholm, going down, 6-8 weeks ago, whatever it was, seems. But I haven't had many guys that have handled such a. We always talk about this being a character development program, and he never. No self-pity, doesn't feel sorry for himself. Just anyone that knows him, he's just a very charismatic guy, just very much a fountain. And his bummer because he didn't get to finish this year, but he changed so much from last year, this year as well. But we always say we get to do this, and we're lucky to be at Stanford. We're lucky to just get the education to be on this campus, and he's taking advantage of it. Ryan Agarwal, who's been started for 2 years, been not playing well, went to the bench. No one's more excited for Jalen Thompson's last game than Ryan, which is always a great sign of when you're doing things right as a coach. And we talk about always having, one of the hardest things in life is have joy for others' success and embrace that. And those two both did. And Jalen's a guy that hasn't played a lot in his career, but he's helping us his starting role right now. A guy that we didn't recruit, but he's just said, I'm here. He shows up every day and he listens and he works, and you'll get rewarded in life. Believe that. You don't know. And then JDS, Jeremy, who's had big games. We don't beat North Carolina without him. Even tonight, he didn't get a lot of minutes in the first half. Then hit two big threes. The game, SMU is a potent offensive team. They're going to keep coming. And he's been a blessing. This guy's got a smile on his face every day. He's, his mom comes and supports him every game. It's pretty cool. And who am I forgetting? AJ Rahosi. He's very similar to the Benny story, and it's funny that two of our top 5 guys were at one point walk-ons. I've always said our system definitely caters to. I shouldn't say cater. It's if you're hungry, you'll have a chance. If you're really hungry, willing to work and go for it. And that's living proof. 2 guys that were just kind of not expected to contribute to this level. They're starters for us, and starters on a pretty good team. 18-11, 7-9 in the ACC. I think 5.5 quad 1 wins. I mean, that was like a quad 1 maybe going in, and after we beat them, probably quad 2. But that's all right. That's a really good team, and we've got some great wins. And that's just a testament how hard they worked. So really excited about them. Did I miss any? There's 6 of them we honored. We call it degree night. If you're getting a degree in this age, great. You've done great. We'll see. If you had extra eligibility, we'll negotiate, I'm sure. We'll figure it out.
Talk about just not just the 30 points from Gino, but also the 6 steals. Just what a two-way player.
He's unbelievable. And we nominated him for, I might as well, pitch for him here. We nominated him for all defense teams, our best defender. Boopy had a good night played in zone, but be able to guard that guy and come up with 6 steals. He's so quick on the ball. He can guard the ball. He'll guard his guy. He'll guard the other guys. He'll cover down the post. He'll come out steal. Transition had an unbelievable play where he kind of had the basket, and someone else picked up ball, and Boopy drove in there and thought he was going to the back door, and Benny read it and swiped, and it's like this is incredible. You got to be really well conditioned, really smart, and really tough. He's all 3.
Can Can you talk a little bit about Ethan Kitch in that final three?
That's great. You know what? He works his butt off every day. He puts in extra time. He has. We always go down the line with every guy. Hey, how are you doing? This is what you're doing. He's got the servant attitude, man. Servant leader. I think even our athletic director, John Donahoe, big on servant leadership, and Ethan Kitch is a living, walking, breathing testament to that. I mean, I told him you got to stop being the only guy picking up the water bottles. So that's not your job. Your job is like someone is you got to inspire others to help. So and then just he's ready. He's ready for the moment. He does in practice too. He'll go 2 practices not getting many reps, and then this time of year it's big for him, scout team, and he'll come in there and I get mad. I root against him. I tell him you're not allowed to. We're going to guard you. And he missed one the other day, and I gave him like this. Yeah. So he remembered it. So just neat local guy that really, again, we bring anyone that loves Stanford as much as him. You're welcome to be a part of this.
You guys were almost perfect at the foul line, 29 32. Do you guys put extra reps in for fouling this league, or just work on any of your team?
You know what? We're usually pretty. We do it almost every day, and we had a couple games where, the Clemson. We'd love to get the Clemson and Wake Forest games where we missed a couple front ends, and we've been pretty consistent. Obviously, AJ's had his struggles all year, and that's been a tricky one to coach around. But nice to see him go for 2 for 2. But he works at it himself, and he's a worker. He's a believer. He'll keep going until he breaks out of that.
Can you talk a little bit about Miles Jones and his improvement throughout the year?
Miles, great. He came here I gave up his senior year of high school, come here and basically redshirt. He's been on the scout team all year, and he's hard to guard. And he's a guy that we talked about, a 6-tool guy. He's great in 4 tools: dribble, pass, drive, shoot. We got to get him defended. Rebound, we'll get him. But he's young, and he's very skillful guy, and maybe our best passer. So he's we're looking forward to coaching him. Back in the back.
You got a lot of players come through the system. I feel like akin to Benny. Can you have any players reminiscent of
Yeah, I told in the locker room. I don't want to be self-serving, but like I've had a guy that's just like him, and I was an assistant coach who was a preferred walk-on, etc., who was the same player, made 30-foot shots, guarded the toughest guy every time, and he's gone on to do some good things. His name's Todd Golden, and both Jewish, both, but very similar. And I told Benny that. I said, and Benny, you're doing maybe even a higher level. We were really good. We were a tournament team. He started on a tournament team, so it's. Tonight it might have, and guess what? Todd had a good senior night too, if I remember. But they're very similar, and like I said, they're hungry guys that are willing to prove others wrong, and while at the same time having a very good team spirit, and it's a lot, man. The accountability is really high, and he's been up for the challenge, every challenge, and as he's knocked out each one, he's got more confident. And that's what happens, so it's pretty cool. But Todd's the one. There's no other. There's some others, but I just, that's the guy, and hopefully Benny has some similar success.
Hey, Coach, obviously Ibuka has been such a good player for you guys this year, and he's been on some draft boards. Have you spoke with him a little bit about whether he might return next year, whether he might go to the draft?
We talked a little bit, and I told him, I said, hey, enjoy this. Or I said, first of all, in this day and age, you really don't have that much to worry about. I honestly said that. I said, look. First it was like, hey, academically and socially, just to college is important to you. Then when I realized, okay, he's a pretty special player, and like I said, we've got to where I gave him the cardinal rules for a point guard, and as he just read these every game before every game, he's really blossoming, growing. I said, and I've kind of given him some markers. I said, when we signed him, I said, Jamari Bouye is who you remind me of, and I said, we'd love to have. Would Jamari Bouye be a great player in our program? Then about quickly thereafter, I said, well, I don't know if Jamari would be doing this now, and he's in the NBA. I mean, he's like scoring, and I was like, with the rev share and that stuff, he's got a great situation, and he has all the leverage, whatever he wants to do. But I think, and my pitch to him has been, you want to be. He's only 18. I don't think he turns 19 until April. I think you want to be in a place where you are leading a team and getting the most minutes to develop what you want to be as a pro. And essentially, we're pros now; they're getting paid. So I think Stanford's the best option. But I just kind of said that. It's true. I said, look, you're leading a team, you're 19. But now if someone in the NBA says, hey, we're going to take you at 12 and you're our starting point guard, well, that's something to consider. And I mean that in the sense we didn't talk about, but like Terrell Terry, who was an awesome player, it didn't work out, and that's okay. It's a different time, though. It was a different pressure. There's not the same financial pressure to do it. So go when you're ready, and maybe he'll go through the process, and he'll make a good informed decision. I haven't had a guy that's been more coachable on that stuff. I told him before the first game, so you're going to be a lot of people tugging at you, agents, media, teammate, and he is, boom, to Zach's dismay, he's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm like, oh, he's coachable. I like this guy, but it's true. He has a goal. He has a mission. He comes in, he's disciplined. So, I think he's got the world ahead of him, and I'd say the same thing. Go at your own pace. You control the situation. Don't let the situation control you. So, yeah, I've had the conversation, and I think he'll make a decision. He's going to be the best he can be, and if it's the right time, he'll make a decision. As long as it's NBA versus Stanford, that's the goal.
Just kind of thoughts on what's going to keep you building on this win heading into next week.
We talk about making the comparison to be like running the mile. Like, this is the fourth lap, and it's like you just sprint for home. And I've had a few teams have really played well. This is a good sign. This is a good. I thought we played. Boy, it was pulling that Pitt thing out was good. They went over and played well against Cal, and then I don't know, someone there. Maybe we caught something here that we're gonna just. I think Aiden's really stepping up has helped us, and maybe that's what we need to keep going. And we had, Notre Dame's had our number, so we're gonna have to play really well.
There you go.
All right.
Are you watching Gonzaga St. Mary's tonight?
I'm actually going over there.
Are you?